Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show. Today, we're diving into something super exciting, something that can completely transform your life. And no, it's not a new dance craze, though I wouldn't say no to that. We're talking about the amazing power of perception. Buckle up because this is going to be good. We're about to uncover how the way you see the world literally shapes the world you experience. It's like having your own personalized reality show, and guess what? You're the director. But hold on a sec, before you start picturing yourself winning an Oscar, let's be real. Sometimes our perceptions can be a little off, like way off. But don't worry, we've all been there. The good news is, once you understand how perception works, you can start changing it. And that's when the real magic happens. Okay, so let's break it down. Perception is a fascinating concept that goes beyond just the basic senses. Perception is how we take in the world around us using our senses, what we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. It's the gateway to our experiences. These senses provide us with raw data, the unfiltered snapshots of reality. But there's more to the story. But here's the catch. It's not just about what we sense, it's about how our brains interpret that information. This interpretation can vary greatly from person to person. Our brains are like complex editing rooms, where the raw footage of our senses gets processed and transformed into our unique version of reality. Think of it like this. Your senses are like a camera capturing images and sounds. They provide the raw footage, the unedited scenes of our daily lives. But your perception? That's the editing software. It decides what to keep, what to discard, and how to present the final cut. It decides which parts of the picture get highlighted, which get cropped out, and even adds its own special effects. This editing process can significantly alter our understanding of the world. And just like any good movie, our perceptions can make things seem funnier, scarier, or more dramatic than they really are. This can enhance our experiences or sometimes distort them. But here's the thing. Sometimes, those edits can lead to misunderstandings, missed opportunities, and a whole lot of unnecessary drama. Our perception can sometimes play tricks on us. Don't worry, we've got this. By becoming aware of how our perception shapes our reality, we can start taking control of the editing room. We can learn to question our initial interpretations and seek a fuller picture. By understanding the power of perception, we can make more informed decisions, improve our relationships, and navigate the world with greater clarity. So, let's embrace the editor within us and create a more accurate and enriching version of our reality. All right, let's get real for a sec. Have you ever stopped to think about how much our perceptions shape our reality? We've all had those moments where our perceptions totally led us astray, right? It's like our minds are playing a game of telephone, distorting the message as it goes along. Like that time you swore your friend was giving you the side eye, only to find out they had something in their eye. Or when you thought someone was ignoring you, but they just didn't hear you. Or when you were convinced you bombed that job interview, but then you landed the job. It's funny how our minds can trick us into believing the worst, only to be proven wrong. These little perception slip-ups happen all the time. From thinking someone is mad at us when they're not, to misreading a text message tone. It's like our brains are playing tricks on us, making us see things that aren't really there or misinterpreting situations. Our minds can be like funhouse mirrors, distorting reality in the most unexpected ways. And the worst part? These misperceptions can have a huge impact on our lives. They can cause unnecessary stress, anxiety, and even conflict with others. They can hold us back from going after our dreams, make us doubt ourselves, and even damage our relationships. Imagine missing out on an opportunity because you misread a situation or hesitated due to self-doubt. But don't sweat it. The first step to fixing a problem is knowing you have one, right? By becoming aware of how our perceptions can lead us astray, we can start to question and challenge them. So let's celebrate the fact that we're becoming more aware of our perceptions and how they influence our world. Awareness is the key to change, and with it, we can start to see things more clearly and live more authentically. Take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. How many times have your perceptions led you astray? And how can you start to shift your mindset to see things more accurately? Remember, it's all about growth and learning. Every misperception is an opportunity to understand ourselves better and improve our interactions with the world around us. So next time you catch yourself jumping to conclusions, take a step back, breathe, and remind yourself that things might not be as they seem. With practice, we can all become masters of our own perceptions. Now for the good stuff, are you ready to rewrite the script of your life? Here's the thing, once you realize that your perception is just one interpretation of reality, not reality itself, a whole world of possibilities opens up. You start to see that you have the power to choose how you view things. It's like having a remote control for your mind, allowing you to switch channels from negative to positive, from fear to courage, from limitation to possibility. Sounds pretty amazing, right? And the best part? Changing your perception isn't some complicated mystical thing. It's totally doable. And I'm going to share some super practical tips to get you started. Get ready to unlock a happier, more fulfilling life, all by simply changing the way you see things. Stay tuned. Section 5. Tip number 1, hit the pause button on your perceptions. All right, let's dive into these life-changing tips. Today, we're going to explore a concept that can truly transform the way you interact with the world around you. The first one is super simple but oh so powerful. Hit the pause button on your perceptions. This might sound easy, but it requires a conscious effort to practice. Think of it like this. When you're watching a movie and you miss something, what do? You rewind, right? You go back to catch what you missed, to understand the context better. Well, life is kind of like that too. We often move so fast that we miss important details, nuances, and the bigger picture. We get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of everyday life that we react to things automatically, without even realizing it. Our minds are on autopilot, and we don't take the time to truly process what's happening around us. But before you jump to conclusions or let your emotions get the best of you, take a deep breath and hit that pause button. This simple act can help you regain control over your reactions and emotions. Give yourself a moment to observe your thoughts and feelings. Reflect on what you're experiencing and why you're feeling a certain way. Ask yourself, is this perception based on facts, or am I letting my assumptions run wild? Are my emotions clouding my judgment, or is there a rational basis for how I feel? Remember, sometimes our initial reactions aren't always the most accurate. By pausing and reflecting, you give yourself the opportunity to see things more clearly and make more informed decisions. This practice can improve your relationships, reduce stress, and help you navigate life's challenges with greater ease. So, next time you find yourself in a stressful situation, remember to hit that pause button and take a moment to breathe and reflect. Incorporate this habit into your daily routine, and you'll start to notice a positive shift in your mindset and overall well-being. It's a small change that can make a big difference. So go ahead, hit that pause button on your perceptions, and see how it transforms your life. You deserve to live with clarity and peace. Section 6. Tip number 2, swap those blinders for binoculars. Tip number 2 is all about broadening your perspective. Imagine walking around with blinders on. You'd only see what's directly in front of you, right? Well, sometimes our perceptions can act like blinders, limiting our view of the world and the people in it. But here's the good news. You can swap those blinders for binoculars. How? By seeking out different points of view. Next time you find yourself judging someone or a situation, challenge yourself to see it from their shoes. Talk to people, listen to their stories, and try to understand where they're coming from. You might be surprised by what you learn. Remember, there's always more to the story than meets the eye. Section 7. Tip number 3. Trade your judgment pen for a compassion pencil. Ready for tip number 3? This one's all about choosing compassion over judgment. It's easy to get caught up in labeling things as good or bad, right or wrong. But here's the thing. Life is rarely black and white. It's a whole lot of gray. So instead of reaching for that judgment pen, try using a compassion pencil instead. Approach situations with an open mind and a willingness to understand. Remember, everyone makes mistakes, and we're all just doing our best with what we've got. By choosing compassion, we open ourselves up to more joy, love, and connection in our lives. And let's be real, who doesn't want more of that? Section 8. The pigeon, the physicist, and the power of perspective. Now you might be thinking, Ellen, this all sounds great, but is it really that simple? And you know what? You're right to question things. It's important to think critically and not just take my word for it. That's why I want to share a fascinating idea from the world of science. It's all about how a pigeon, a physicist, and you and me can all experience the same reality in completely different ways. Whoa, right? Basically, scientists are discovering that even though our individual perceptions might differ, there's an underlying reality that connects us all. It's like we're all watching the same movie, but with different subtitles. Pretty cool, huh? Section 9. Remember, perception is not reality. Now I know what you're thinking. If a pigeon and a physicist can see the same thing so differently, how can we ever truly understand each other, let alone ourselves? And you know what? That's a great question. But here's the thing. It's not about seeing everything exactly the same way. It's about recognizing that perception is not reality. Just because you see things one way doesn't mean that's the only way, or even the right way. It's just your perception. And that's okay. In fact, embracing the diversity of human perception is what makes life so interesting. It's what allows us to learn from each other, grow, and expand our own understanding of the world. Section 10. Go ahead, transform your world. So there you have it. The power of perception is real, and it's in your hands. By becoming aware of your own perceptions, challenging your assumptions, and choosing compassion, you can literally transform your reality. It's like having a magic wand that can turn everyday experiences into extraordinary adventures. Don't be afraid to see the world through a new lens, to embrace the unexpected, and to discover the beauty in the everyday. Go ahead, be the director of your own amazing life. Section 11. One last thought before we go. Remember, life is a journey, not a destination. There will be bumps in the road, detours, and maybe even a few wrong turns. But that's okay. It's all part of the adventure. So buckle up, enjoy the ride, and don't forget to wear your rose-colored glasses every now and then. We'll be right back after the break with more fun and inspiration, so don't go anywhere.